What's happening, party people? It's your guy Damien. Welcome to Damien All Day. Glad to join you guys in this WrestleMania season, or lack thereof. You guys know what I'm talking about, lack thereof. Come on. This is ridiculous. I got some news. I don't want to say it's action, but I'll just say it's news, because it is what it is on that. The Undertaker, WWE legend, and getting inducted into the Hall of Fame this season. He's had some words in an interview about the current state of the WWE superstars. Pretty much, as to no surprise, he has some kind of criticism for him. Pretty much saying that, you know, they're not men like they were back then. Let me explain. Back then, with wrestling, around when he started and even a little bit after that, you've had people like, you know, Hulk Hogan and King Kong Bundy, Big John Studd, and, you know, Andre and Hercules and all these other guys. And the problem with that is throughout time, just life in general, things change, things upgrade, things never remain the same. What I mean by that is things evolve. So if your vehicle looks this way, in 10, 15, 20 years from now, they're going to look completely different. Hence, if you're playing a sport or if you're into fighting or whatever it is, it's never going to be the same going forward. Everything is always going to change. It's always going to evolve. It's always going to be better and different. So with that being said, the Undertaker, what he means by saying that they're not the men like they were back then is because, for one, they're not big titans that are just throwing people around the ring all the time. And two, they're more athletic now. They're smaller than the guys from then. But, you know, okay, here's my thing. But first, The Undertaker, you know, in his comments, he previously said that the WWE superstars of the current era are not real men compared to the wrestlers back in his era. He added that the wrestlers from his era were far tougher. Why? Why do you think that? What is the difference? And I don't want to go by character-wise, but what is the difference as to why are they not as tough as they are back then? It has to make sense right here, because if you're in pro wrestling, you're going to be tough because you're doing a lot of stuff. You're taking bumps, you're getting hit, you're getting kicked, you're getting slammed, you're getting squeezed, you're getting twisted, you're getting thrown off of stuff, you're landing in tables, getting hit with this and that and stuff. The same type of stuff, basically, from back in the day. Probably a little bit more dangerous nowadays. So, I don't understand. Don't get me wrong. The Undertaker's my guy, always. Top 5 guy, period. No questions asked. But what I don't understand is, it sounds like an old guy comment. Yep, I said it. You guys don't have to like me on that. You can go ahead and try to bury me about it. Who cares? I really don't care. I'm saying it like it is. I like The Undertaker. I respect The Undertaker. He's one of the all-time greats, if not at least top. I'll say top 5 because there's too many greats. But that's sounding more like the old guy. Oh, back in my day, you know, we sharpened pencils with our fingernails and stuff like that. And we pushed cars to work instead of drove in them and all that other crap. No, you sound like an old man that's telling people to get off your lawn. Sorry, Undertaker. Sorry. You can't sit here and say that they're tougher back then than now. Because what are you comparing it to? You can't compare it to their size. Everybody's different sizes. It doesn't matter. I can promise you that wrestlers back then will be hurt or will refuse to take the bumps that some of these wrestlers are doing nowadays. There's such a thing called adapting to the times and adapting to the environments or the position that you're put in. Randy Orton been wrestling for forever and a day. And he's still wrestling now, still at a high level. You think he hasn't adapted throughout time? Of course he has. You know, the older generation guys, of course they're not really wrestling as much anymore. They're doing other things, or they're pretty much behind the scenes, or they're pretty much retired. But with what the Undertaker is trying to say, and I get it. I get what he's listen, you guys. I get what he's saying. Okay, I'm not knocking him, but I am knocking him. I'm keeping it 1,000 with you. I am. But I get what he's saying. But on the other hand, like I'm saying, what are you comparing it to? You can't compare it to characters. They're characters. That's not proving or meaning anything. If you're talking about the physicality, I think it's worse now than it was then. It's a lot more dangerous now than it was then. But what he's pretty much talking about in the nutshell is, guys, they're not all like Drew McIntyre size no more. Like, you know, back then, all these big giants and titans and all that type of stuff, you know, they're muscling people around, throwing them around and all this type of stuff and clashing and all that stuff, which is cool. It's fine. But not everybody's going to do that. Not everybody's going to. Keith Lee is a very big man, a 300 plus something pound man. He can do big man stuff, but he can also do other stuff. He's very athletic. So, you know, I just think his comments are old manish. Sorry. I like The Undertaker, but I think his comments are old manish. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. If I'm a current superstar, I would probably have a problem with that. I mean, dead man or not, I don't care. You know, if I know you from right there, I'd pull you to the side and talk to you, and we got to clarify it because it doesn't make any sense to me at all. I mean, I don't think he's trying to completely knock and tear down anything. He's just basically comparing it to how it was then to now. Times have changed now. Life adapts, life moves on, and life gets different. More people are athletic, more people want to fly around and do all this stuff. This is how it goes. That doesn't mean that they're less tough because they're not as big or whatever like that. I mean, Brock Lesnar is probably one of the last of the Titans that's doing all that brutality and throwing people all across. For the WWE at least. But, you know, that's just, I don't know, that's just my opinion on it. I have to get on here and talk about it because I just found it kind of odd that he would say that. And it just comes off as an angry old man type thing. Sorry. It is what it is. But, alright, party people, man, I'm going to get on out of here. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you don't, it is what it is. Whatever. Alright, party people, talk to you later.